In December 1942, the Army transferred me from Eglin Field, Florida to New Orleans, Louisiana. I was accompanied by several enlisted men, and our aim was to meet with other enlisted men and officers and form the nucleus of what was to be the 102nd Station Hospital. We would go into training as a hospital and finally be sent overseas, either to the Pacific or to the European theater of war. There was little for me to do except pay attention to the needs of the men. And the first Sunday, I decided I was no longer interested in Army chow, and I was aware of New Orleans' reputation for great food. So I took a streetcar down to Canal Street, got off, and walked over to what I thought would be an ideal place for good food. It was Antoine's. They took care of me when I turned back the menu, and the waiter realized I needed help. I said I would like a good steak. He presented me with a great steak and some souffle potatoes. It was a memorable event, and then I knew New Orleans was a place for good food. The following Sunday also played a great point in my history. Late in the week, I noticed a note on the bulletin board which said, "This coming Sunday, there will be a dance for officers at the Fountain Lounge at the Roosevelt Hotel in downtown New Orleans. The doors to the Fountain Lounge will open at 4 p.m. By that time, several other officers had joined us, and so we all took a streetcar to downtown New Orleans, got off again at Canal Street, and walked over to the Roosevelt Hotel. We were the first group at the doors to the Fountain Lounge. When the doors opened, I was the first one in. Momentarily, I made a couple decisions. Number one, I was not looking for a blonde. Number two, she had to be tall. I was not interested in a short brunette. As I entered the room, off in the far corner on the right, near the entry to the kitchen, I could see the brunette, head of curls, and she was tall. I quickly walked over so that I would be the first at the side of her table. I said, "May I sit down?" She hardly looked at me. She said, "If you want to." I sat down. I said, "Would you like a drink?" She pointed to a glass of liquid. She said, "I already have one." Then the orchestra began to play. I said, "Would you like to dance?" She said to me, "Can you dance to that?" I said, "Of course." It was a rumba, I knew, but I don't think I had taken more than 3 steps to a rumba. So we got up. I put my arms around her. She felt very good. I said, "What is your name?" She said, "Yvette Sherman." She looked at my name badge. She said, "Oh, you're a lieutenant." I said, "Yes." So we danced some more, and we had such a good time. When the music stopped, she sat down. She said, "I think I'll go to the ladies' room." Later, she told me what happened. In the ladies' room, she met Henrietta Watkins, whom she had come to the party with. Henry, as she was called, had to convince Yvette that the dance would be a good way to spend a couple of hours. Yvette had said, "I'm tired. I've been working all week and I don't want to dance anymore. I've been dancing most every night this week. But I met a young man. I want you to know, Henry, I met a young man. And if I ever get married, I want to marry him." Henry said, "I've got to see this guy." So she came out to the table when Yvette returned, and she met me. It was at that time, Yvette told me she was a lawyer. So I met a tall brunette who felt good in my arms and who was a lawyer. What a great way to spend